Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NXT The Game Season 2, Episode 74. We are just a few weeks away from NXT The Game's takeover of War Games. But tonight, we are one event away from the 6th day in the Super Junior, the Mega 12 Juniors, so let's get straight into the action. We see Titus O'Neil in the back with the Revival, Scott Dawson, and Dash Wilder. Titus says that they've had 2 weeks to find partners for the main event and asks if they found them. Dash tells Titus that they don't need partners because after all they've had trouble finding partners to team with them. Titus says fine, but the match isn't changing, so unless they can find partners tonight, it will be the Revival taking on all 4 members of Sanity, and that'll kick it off with an 89A. We have a lot of Revival segments tonight, so hopefully that boosts our show. 89A. Tom Phillips, Nigel McGuinness, and Steve Carino welcome us to NXT. Tom Phillips says that tonight on NXT we're going to have one hell of a show. Tom Phillips says that tonight, on top of what we've just heard from Titus O'Neil as it relates to the Revival and Sanity, we're going to have DIY returning to in-ring action as they take on the Blake and Murphy factor. Nigel then pops in and says that's not it because tonight we are also going to get Kenny Omega taking on Jushin Thunder Liger. So that will be interesting as well. The announce team did awful here. Go figure. 63C. I may, after Brooklyn, shake up the announce team, guys. I'm not sure, but I'm leaning towards it, shaking it up a little bit. 63C. All right, in a decent match, Roddy Strong defeats Bobby Fish in 13 minutes with a stronghold. Roderick Strong with a 66, Fitz with a 56. Now, these two, Bobby Fish is improving in performance skills at 65C. Bobby Fish and Roddy Strong are not going to be facing off until day 10 of the NXT Mega 12 Juniors tournament. So I figured we'd go ahead and give them a match here to see what they can do. And a 65C is absolutely fantastic. All right. Quickly, we're shifting backstage, and the fans are booing as Blake and Murphy show up on the screen with their manager, Velvet Sky, all 3 directing their attention towards the camera that's focused solely on them. Velvet Sky questions what's taken so long for her and her boys, Blake and Murphy, to appear on NXT TV. That it's insane they haven't been on television the last couple of months. But they haven't been sleeping, no. They've been resting, no. They've been training, preparing, and a shot against House NXT, DIY, the duo, is exactly what my boys, Blake and Murphy, need to showcase their skills. Blake and Murphy have been here so long, says Velvet Sky, they've been simply overlooked. Well, tonight, all eyes are on Blake and Murphy. Factor that in. So Velvet was great. Murphy has a steel gimmick. We'll have to note that and look into it. A 69C, though, for their hype with their match against DIY. Speaking of matches, though, Asuka defeats Aaliyah in 5:53 with the Passion Clutch, a.k.a. the Asuka Lock, I believe. Lack of psychology, that's not great. This was an eye candy match to give the crowd a breather, and I was okay with that. So a 72B- is exactly what we needed from this match to give the crowd a breather and to kind of focus and shift some of the direction for the rest of the show. A 72B- though with Asuka and Aaliyah is not bad. Next up, having just won the match, Asuka rolls Aaliyah out of the ring as Pete Dunne hops into the ring and pushes the referee out of the ring as well in one fell swoop, viciously raising the hand of his bestie Asuka. Asuka looks to Pete Dunne and the duo hit the mat hard, leaving the ring and look to the crowd while Pete Dunne screams at the top of his lungs, telling them and telling anyone about Manifest Destiny. This duo was not to be messed with, so Asuka came across well. Pete Dunne getting better at his gimmick. 65C, no skill improvements, but this is fantastic because basically Asuka and Pete Dunne are going to be together for a while, and it looks like they're not bombing as a pair. So that's great. 65C. All right, next we see Bayley walking into the backstage area and walks up to find the Revival, Dash, and Dawson. Bayley says that last week Nikki Cross attacked her backstage, and while she was able to get some sort of revenge by distracting Nikki in her match against Sasha Banks, the NXT Women's Champion Bayley says that she wants to get her hands on that crazy lady Nikki Cross. The Revival seems taken aback but says welcome to the team, and Bayley has agreed to join up with the Revival tonight to take on Sanity. So 1 down, 1 to go here for the Revival as they found one half of their tag team partners in Bayley. Announcing was weak. The angle got the crowd hotter. The controlled KLX still only has advanced 85B+. So a very good segment again. In the next match, DIY defeats Blake and Murphy when Gargano hits Blake with the Hurts Donut. 70C plus for DIY in the victory here tonight. Blake and Murphy, though, solid with a 50 and a 47. DIY with an 80 and 75. Very, very good. Velvet Sky was great. The match got the crowd hotter. And, Blake and Murphy, guys, are just another, just... As we've talked about before, DIY, the Revival, the Young Bucks, and AOP are just so over. All these other teams that were pretty over, like in the 45s, decently over, just have nowhere to go. 70C plus, though, for DIY. All right, Bayley is now seen talking backstage to the Revival, Dash and Dawson, as none other than former NXT Heavyweight Champion now Bobby Roode walks up. The Revival seem a little taken aback and asks Bobby what he wants, a bit put off. Bobby smirks and tells him to chill. He says that he has no issues with Sanity in the past and he's in a mood to fight. So if they'll have him, he'd like to put his glorious ass to work tonight. The Revival smirk to Bayley, who walks up and gives Bobby Roode an awkward hug as the scene fades out with Bobby not really enjoying the hug from Bayley. So tonight it's official. The Revival have found their partners in Bayley and Bobby Roode, and those four will take on Sanity. So again, another very strong segment for the Revival. 88B plus. That is just absolutely fantastic, guys. I'm very thrilled with that. We get a simple split screen now as Jushin Liger. Then the Elite Kenny and the Young Bucks walking into the ring. Kenny is taking on Liger. Coming up next. In a bout that had good heat and decent wrestling, Kenny Omega defeats Jushin Thunder Liger with the Kreutz Wrath. Liger and Kenny Omega do not click, and it showed in their performance. Well, that was unfortunate. Apparently, Liger was tired after 11 minutes. That's okay. 61C between Liger and Omega. I thought because they've worked together in New Japan, this may have gotten higher, a little bit of a rating. Unfortunately, it did not. But 61C will take it. Omega with the victory here tonight. After having defeated Jushin Thunder Liger, though, Kenny Omega with the Young Bucks at his side mock the legend and celebrate over Liger. The Elite is all happy now, but just in a few weeks they'll be locked inside the War Games cage with House NXT, which of course is DIY and Sami Zayn. So we've advanced that as well. 76B minus. Alrighty, no scale improvements. We next get a video package hyping and letting us know that next week the Ellering Alliance will be here on NXT. That's right, the Ellering Alliance will be here on NXT coming shortly. Next week, actually. 89A. All right. It's going to be the first, I think, pay-per-view in forever since AOP has not defended their tag team titles on. Why, tonight we're going to get a huge 8-person main event tag team match between Sanity and the Revival. This is the video package, by the way. Bayley and Bobby Roode. A few more matches per Titus O'Neil have been added to TakeOver. At NXT TakeOver War Games, we're going to get Eric Young going one-on-one with none other than the glorious one, Bobby Roode. But that's not all. We're going to see Sanity, Wolf, and Dane taking on the Revival, Dash, and Dawson. So tonight we're going to get the big 8-man tag, but we're also going to get Bobby Roode and Eric Young secondarily singles action on the pay-per-view TakeOver special. That is War Games and Sanity taking on the Revival, Dash, and Dawson. 71C plus, not too bad. Dawson was good. The controlled chaos storyline has advanced but lost heat. All right, and in the main event, Sanity, Eric Young, Nikki Cross, Alexander Wolf, and Killian Dane defeating Bobby Roode, Bayley in the Revival. When Nikki Cross defeats Bayley by pinfall using underhanded tactics, Nikki Cross has pinned and defeated the NXT Women's Champion. So Roode has a gimmick that's getting stale. Wilder and Dawson, 71 and 69. Bayley with a 58. Roode with a 70. Dane and Wolf extremely good at 56. 51 and 56 for Young and Cross as well. So I am very happy all around. Eric Young is improving in performance and technical. Dane in technical. This is just the continued push of Eric Young here. Continue to get over. After Nikki Cross has just pinned the NXT Women's Champion Bayley in the center of the ring, Bobby Roode and the Revival are slowly coming to as Alexander Wolf has gotten Bayley's NXT Women's Heavyweight Championship from the Timekeepers era and handed it to his Nikki Cross. Cross has handed the championship and puts her foot on the chest of Bayley, then raises the championship high into the sky, and NXT fades out for this week, folks. After 2 weeks of the Revival finding partners, finally Bayley, the NXT Women's Champion, is pinned clean in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. So Roode was great. Young improvised. Both storylines have advanced. There was no skill improvements. A 74B minus. Let's see what we got for NXT The Games 74 this week. Hopefully a 75, 76, 77. All right, we'll take that. A 77 is a very, very solid rating. So this was NXT The Game Season 2, Episode 74. Coming up next week, we have NXT The Game Season 2, Episode 75, which will be Day 6 of the Mega 12 Juniors. We will then have one more episode of NXT, and then War Games. Thanks for watching, everyone. Again, this was NXT The Game Season 2, Episode 74, and have a glorious rest of your day.